The Los Angeles Rams are facing a sudden and massive crisis that could completely derail their offensive line strategy before the season even begins. With a key starter now surrounded by serious legal uncertainty, the front office is being forced to scramble for reinforcements in a position where depth is already razor-thin. A surprising trade candidate has just emerged as the perfect, low-cost insurance policy to save the rotation, but time is running out to make a move. Before we dive into who this mystery player is, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's go. The Los Angeles Rams are facing a sudden and significant shift in their offensive line planning, following recent off-the-field developments involving starting left tackle Alaric Jackson Jr. The situation has immediately put the franchise in a position where they must evaluate their depth at one of the most critical spots on the field. As details emerge, it is becoming clear that the organization needs to be proactive to ensure the protection of their quarterback remains consistent throughout the upcoming season. While the situation with Alaric Jackson Jr. remains fluid, the potential for a 6-game suspension looms large if the NFL determines a violation of its conduct policy has occurred. This would be a second offense, creating a massive void in the starting rotation. In response to these unforeseen circumstances, the team is now being linked to potential trade market solutions to mitigate the risk of being short-handed. One name that has surfaced as a legitimate target is Wanya Morris, currently of the Kansas City Chiefs. Reports indicate that Wanya Morris and the Chiefs have agreed to explore trade options, making him a prime candidate for a team looking to shore up their tackle rotation quickly. The Rams, who were already thin at the position, find themselves in a unique spot to potentially acquire a player with starting experience for a bargain cost. The objective is to stabilize the roster, while the legal situation surrounding Alaric Jackson Jr. progresses toward a resolution. With no guarantees regarding the timeline of the investigation, the front office is looking at every viable option to ensure that the team is not left scrambling during the regular season. For the fans who always shout, "Ram it!" this potential move highlights a necessary pivot in the team's operational strategy. The potential addition of Wanya Morris represents a shift in how the organization is approaching its depth chart for the current year. Beyond the immediate uncertainty surrounding Alaric Jackson Jr., the current tackle rotation features rookie Keegan Trost and former 5th-round pick Warren McClendon. While Warren McClendon is currently the projected starter on the right side, the reliance on an unproven rookie like Keegan Trost to fill a significant role creates a vulnerability that the front office must address. Why does this matter right now for the team? The answer lies in the thin margins of professional football, where one injury or unexpected absence can derail the performance of an entire offensive unit. Without a reliable backup who has seen regular playing time, the coaching staff would be forced to look toward veteran depth options like David Quessenberry, who is approaching his 36th birthday. Relying on an aging veteran for extended snaps is rarely a sustainable strategy for a team with aspirations of success. By pursuing a player like Wanya Morris, the team is effectively building an insurance policy that allows for greater flexibility. Even if Alaric Jackson Jr. remains available, having an experienced body in the room changes the competitive landscape for Keegan Trost and Warren McClendon. It ensures that the training camp competition remains intense, forcing every player to perform at their highest level. Wanya Morris brings over 700 snaps of experience from a previous campaign, where he appeared in all 17 games, a level of durability that the current depth chart simply lacks at this moment. The organization is calculating that the cost of inaction could be much higher than the modest price of a trade for a player who is looking for a fresh start. The motivation for a move is clearly twofold. The team gains a versatile piece to stabilize the rotation, and Wanya Morris gains a platform to revitalize his career. After playing over 700 snaps 2 seasons ago, Wanya Morris saw his playing time diminish significantly last year in Kansas City, logging just 66 snaps. This reduction in usage has led to a mutual agreement to look for a trade, and Los Angeles stands out as an ideal landing spot where he can compete for a meaningful role. While the team cannot offer him an immediate starting job, the environment in Los Angeles provides a pathway to the field that he no longer sees with his current club. For a player who was once a primary starter, being buried on a depth chart is a difficult reality, and joining the Rams would allow him to throw his hat in the ring against Warren McClendon and Keegan Trost. This creates a healthy competition that benefits the entire position group. From the team's perspective, this is a low-risk, high-reward proposition. Given that Wanya Morris is entering the final year of his rookie contract, the financial commitment is manageable, and the acquisition cost is expected to be minimal. The Chiefs are unlikely to demand a premium price for a player who has fallen out of their active rotation, which works entirely in the favor of the front office. By acting now, the team ensures that they are not forced into a desperate move later if the situation with Alaric Jackson Jr. results in a prolonged absence. The ability to integrate a player with significant starting experience before the season begins is a strategic advantage that the team is clearly keeping on the table as the summer progresses toward camp. The ripple effect of the Alaric Jackson Jr. situation extends far beyond just the starting left tackle spot. It forces the entire offensive coaching staff to reevaluate their protection schemes and their overall strategy for the rotation. When a team loses a starter, the backup swing tackle becomes the most important reserve on the roster. Currently, the team does not have a designated swing tackle who provides the level of security required to navigate a full season. If the team stands pat and chooses not to make a move, they would be forced to rely on David Quessenberry as the primary backup from the start of the season. This scenario is far from ideal, given the demands of the position in modern professional football. By bringing in Wanya Morris, the team successfully upgrades its insurance policy, creating a scenario where they are no longer one injury away from a major drop-off in performance. The rookie Keegan Trost is undoubtedly a player with high potential, but placing the entire burden of a starting role upon his shoulders is a risk that the organization would likely prefer to avoid. If Wanya Morris joins the group, the team gains the flexibility to develop Keegan Trost at a more natural pace while maintaining a solid floor for the offensive line. This kind of roster management is precisely what is needed when facing unexpected challenges that threaten the stability of the core. As the organization evaluates the pros and cons of this trade, the focus remains on keeping the protection level high. Every snap counts, and the front office is clearly aware that failing to act could leave the team vulnerable during the critical early stages of the season, when games are often decided in the trenches. Looking ahead, the potential acquisition of Wanya Morris serves as a clear indicator that the team is not willing to sit back while their roster depth is tested by off-the-field events. While the legal proceedings for Alaric Jackson Jr. continue to unfold, the team is taking the necessary steps to protect its competitive interests. Whether or not the league eventually imposes a 6-game ban, the organization is effectively preparing for the worst-case scenario. This approach is standard for teams that want to maintain a consistent output regardless of the names appearing on the depth chart. If the trade for Wanya Morris goes through, it will be viewed as a prudent decision to address a glaring need before it becomes a crisis point on the field. For the fans, this represents a commitment to maintaining a competitive edge even when faced with adversity. The "Ram it" spirit is about grit and resilience, and that is exactly what the front office is demonstrating by exploring every available market opportunity to bolster the offensive front. The timeline for any potential transaction remains tied to the ongoing developments with Alaric Jackson Jr., but the intent is clear. The team will not allow the offensive line to become a liability. By keeping communication lines open with the Chiefs and continuing to evaluate the roster, the team is positioning itself to make a swift move if the opportunity aligns with their internal value assessments. The hope is that the upcoming season will be defined by progress and performance, and the leadership is making sure that the building blocks for that success are firmly in place, regardless of the challenges they face. The team remains ready to pull the trigger if it means securing the necessary depth for their upcoming campaign.